Man. So, I mean, how did this Canadian kid end up in Auburn, Alabama? I'll tell you how. So my dad lost his job, and when I was 13 years old, he came home and he was like, we're moving to Alabama. And I was like, I haven't watched Forrest Gump enough. And we drove with our moving truck to cross the border to the US. And my dad doesn't have the best relationship with the border crossing. No, because he's brown. Get your mind out of the gutter. But here's the thing. We used to always cross the border into Buffalo because things in the US were super cheap. But there are rules. If you buy a certain amount of goods, you got to pay duty if you come back the same day. And typically, we spend a few days there. But one time, we came back the same day. And so we told my dad, when the immigration officer comes to you and says, do you have anything to declare? Just say no. He's like, yeah, I got this. So we came up to the border. Immigration officer is like, do you have anything to declare? And my dad was like, no. Open up the trunk. And my mom runs out. She's like, we bought everything 75% off. I have receipts. So here we are, 1998. We're crossing the border. We're coming to the US. And my dad didn't want to spring for movers. He had his friend drive the moving truck with all of our stuff in it. And if you've ever been at the border in Buffalo, there are lanes for cars, there are lanes for trucks. And my dad followed the truck in the truck lane. Immigration officer was like, whoa, what are you doing? What are you doing? This is the truck lane. And my dad was like, yes, I know that, but that is my truck. So I'm following my truck. And the immigration officer was like, what is your purpose in crossing over to the United States? And my dad gets nervous and he tries to answer and he's like, I want to hear it from the kid. And so I'm like, my dad lost his job and he got laid off and we're moving to the US and we have these little things called green cards and I think they're green. And that is how we made it into this country. Yes! So I have a green card. And when I was graduating college in 2008, I was like, I have more than 7 letters in my last name, and I'm brown. This green card's not gonna help out. So I decided to get my American citizenship. And I told my mom. And my mom was like, I want the American citizenship too. I want to vote. And I was like, it's a really hard test. You've never taken American history. And she was like, okay, quiz me. I was like, great. Who was the first president of the United States? And she was like, easy. George Clinton Bush. I was like, we got a lot of studying to do. And she did, y'all. She got a bunch of books from the library. She was reading up on everything. And I came home one day, and she was like, Shivani, do you know the Martin? Have you heard of the Martin? Do you know about the Martin? And I was like, is that our new neighbor? She's like, no, not a bloody new neighbor. Martin was a black man who had a dream, and he marched. And because of him, we can now drink from water fountains. I was like, you can't be on a first name basis with the late, great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He's not your homie. But y'all, she took that immigration test and she passed. Give it up for my amma. And the immigration officer was like, we just got a couple questions, some formalities here. In the event the United States engages in war, are you willing to bear arms for this country? And my amma looked at him and said, I don't really like to wear the sleeveless shirts because I have a fat arm. You know, the arm's a little fat, like a fat arm. I don't like to expose the fat arm. So she came back to me, she was like, I didn't know like a bare arms is like a hold a weapon. I don't mind, I will carry a gun, I will carry a knife. And I was like, I love that this woman is willing to hold an AK-47, but a tube top is where she draws the line.